It is, what is it actually? It is the spirit world sees all, and of course they do. And so with me this morning is my spirit guide Gregor, who as always is standing to my right side. We have my lovely Chris. Say good morning, Chris.
Good morning, everyone.
And of course, we hope we have all of you. Do we have anybody on with us, Chris, today?
Well, they're already starting to log on already, so they were expecting you.
Good. We're glad to hear it. So let's talk for 1 minute about this week. My grandson woke up this morning with a dreadful rash all over his body. His face is almost scarlet, rashes everywhere. I'm hoping that I'm not going to break out in a rash at some point in the next few days. We thought at first that it might be his medicine, but apparently the doctor says no, it isn't. We thought maybe he'd eaten, you know how strawberries can do a number on you sometimes. And we did have a few days ago, courtesy of me, a strawberry meringue. But no, apparently it's not that either. But I think apparently he just has some sort of an odd virus. He went to school. You see, there's something to be said for homeschooling. There's always an upside to things. He went to school on Tuesday, and last night he started to break out in this rash, and the doctor thinks it's some sort of an odd virus that perhaps he's caught. Who knows? We're going to wait and see. If it gets worse, we'll have to take him once again to the doctor, and if it doesn't get worse, well, keep our fingers crossed it'll get better. And how are you and rashes and cold weather there, Chris?
No rashes here. Definitely cold weather. We were out for a brisk walk today, and ice is melted on the side of the road, so you have to be careful. But we're still out there walking.
Well, good. I'm really glad to hear it. But I'm so glad also that I'm not out there in that cold weather. It is cold here in New York. Yes, I'm still in New York, everybody. But yeah, it is cold, but I'm staying in because I don't like the cold weather. I really don't like it when it gets cold. I really am. I've gotten so used to Vermont. I've gotten not Vermont. Sorry, I've gotten so used to where am I? Florida. I've gotten so used to the warm weather. I've got so used to going in the pool whenever I feel like it. Yes, I know I'm such a pampered little creature, aren't I? And let's see. What am I going to do today or tomorrow? I'm waiting for a special little tool from Amazon so that I can make my hobnobs. Now I can make them without this tool, but I'm figuring that the hobnobs, the little tool that I've got, will give the hobnobs a little bit better shape and a more even shape. So I'm dying to use that. And I made chocolate shortbreads at the weekend as well. I mean, busy. All right, Chris, who do we have? Questions, comments, anything that we've got going on there?
Right now, we do not have any questions or comments, which is unusual. There are a lot of people logged in, but nothing yet.
Well, I'll tell you what then. Why don't we talk about what we're going to be doing later on today?
I can't wait for later on today because we've got your 2 opportunities to be on your webinar. It's a new year and a new you. Power up your resolutions. One's at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. One's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this will help your folks that are overseas and then the folks here in the States.
Yes, and we do have people signed up, so we're very excited about that. But we did actually, to be fair, Chris, we put it up on at the last minute, didn't we? Would you like to tell everybody why we put it up at the last minute?
So we have somebody to blame here.
Totally.
No, actually, Rosemary has done this exercise with her students. So anybody who does get into this webinar know that you're getting into something pretty special. The way Rosemary does this workshop or this exercise has you completely rethinking how you've ever done resolutions before and has you really connecting into yourself, your soul. So I can't speak highly enough of it. And I had suggested to Rosemary, hey, maybe we can put this out and give this opportunity to all your Facebook friends
It's the new
and
year, you
followers.
said. Let's do
Yeah,
something for everybody. And of course, we would love to be able to say, look, everybody come along and join us. But unfortunately, we do have expenses. We do have to pay Zoom. We do have to pay Eventbrite. We do have to pay all these people and all of the technology that surrounds these things. We do have to pay all of those people, don't we? Plus, of course, I have to pay Chris, and she earns more than every penny that I can afford to pay her. That's for sure. Um, but we did try to make it as affordable as we possibly could for everybody, and I think $25 is a pretty fair and a pretty affordable thing to do. Just imagine, all right, you on New Year's Eve, I think is the tradition, or some people do New Year's Day. We make our list of resolutions, and here we are. We're putting down all of these things. You know, you want to stop smoking, or you want a new car, or whatever it is you want. You want to focus on the things that you perhaps do that you don't want to do anymore, and you perhaps would want to focus on the things that you perhaps don't have, but maybe even that you need. And there is, and that we all get together, we all make them. It's a lot of fun. We know pretty much, don't we? When we do it, we're not going to keep most of them, don't we? I mean, we do it just because it's a bit of fun. But there are certain things that we have ambitions about. There are certain things that in our lives that we actually, do need, and that would make our lives so much easier, and also enable us to do more for our families and to do more for ourselves. A new job, a new house, a new car, all of those things that you know we dream perhaps of having, but we don't know how to get them. And so those things are the things that we're going to be focusing on, things that are important to us, things that are, that we would perhaps, think, no, I'm never going to be able to do that. Those things that are reasonably attained. I mean, you can't put down $1 million. We're not going to be doing that, but we're going to be focusing on 4 or 5 things that we can reasonably, within reason, if we work hard and if luck is on our side and if our energy is in the right place, and it's all about our energy being in the right place. If our energy is in the right place, these are things that we can actually achieve. And so there are these little tricks and little things that we do that I shall be talking about. How can you make a difference in your life? How can you make a difference and enrich your life? And really, does the power of thought really, really work? And I'm going to show you how it does, but how it can work. And that's going to be our workshop. And again, we're doing one at 2 p.m. this afternoon, aren't we? 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're also doing another one at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we thought, if people are out there and they, their timeline is off, or they're at work or whatever it is and they can't manage it, we'll do a couple of different timelines. We've never done it before because it means me working all day long to do this. But as I love my work and as I love doing what I'm doing, I'm very happy to do it. And I think you'll all really, really enjoy what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to show you to do. And it was very funny because last night my daughter had to do some work, and so I was left with the little one. And we at some point we ran out of things to do, and I had said, and I do believe that this workshop that we're going to be doing this afternoon, and it is really a workshop that we're going to be doing this afternoon. This workshop you can apply it to your children, you can apply it applies to anybody. So as a little exercise yesterday afternoon, or late yesterday afternoon, I said to my grandson, okay, why don't we make our ambitions card? And so I showed him what to do, and I did one and he did one, and he really, really, really got into it. And I'm going to show you how you do that, but also how, before you actually really start to think about the things that you want in your life, or that you would like to achieve in your life, in this, not in the long term, not 10 years ahead, but within a year or two, of really achieving differences and making differences in your life, that how you have to think about it, how you have to get your mindset, how you have to raise your level of consciousness, and so on. And if a 7-year-old, soon to be 8, he reminds me in February, if a 7-year-old can do this and really enjoy it and really get into it and really think of those things that he, that he would like and that are important, if he can do it, we can all do it. And the ability to make these things happen is as much the ability as a child can have as an adult can have. And so I put down a few things. To be honest, it was very difficult for me, because the truth of the matter is I've got pretty much everything I need. I don't need, I don't want very, very much of anything for myself. And unfortunately, the Ambitions Board is only for your own self. I mean, I could have thought for a lot of things for other people, but when it comes to me, then I'm not quite as it's not quite as easy for me to do, because I've pretty much got everything that I do need in my life. Isn't that nice for me? And how many of us can say that? It doesn't mean that I have tremendous wealth. It doesn't mean I have an enormous house. It doesn't mean I have 6 cars in the garage. What I'm saying is that my life is very comfortable, and I have pretty much all that I need to move forward. But what does a 7-year-old want? What would a 7-year-old put down? Anyway, when you join me for my workshop this afternoon, I'm going to be showing you what he did. I'm going to be showing you how he did it. I'm going to be talking about how he came to the decisions of putting those things into the Ambitions Board that he did, and his reasoning behind things. Because and I'm going to be asking those of you who join us, all right, before you join us here, think carefully about what it is that would make a huge difference in your life. It can be material things, it can be about relationships, it can be anything you like it to be. When I do this with my students, when I've done this with my students in the past, it has always been about our spiritual growth. But this time, because it's the new year and it's about New Year's resolutions and New Year's ambitions, there's no reason why we can't put down those material things that we need as well, because many of us do need certain things. I mean, if you've got an old creaky car and you don't know how much longer it's going to last, gosh, I can remember those days. A long time ago, when my daughter was a girl and I drove a car that went on a wing and a prayer, literally. Was rusted. You couldn't open the passenger door. We couldn't close it properly either. I mean, there are so many of us who would think a new car is beyond us, but is it? I'll show you perhaps how you can work at making your dream of a new car come true. Chris, can you think of anything else I've missed out there?
Not really, because you don't want to say too much to influence people,
Right.
but you want to say enough that they know it's worth their time. And that's
Oh, well,
my message. It's worth your time.
And it's also fun. I had a great deal of fun with my grandson yesterday. All right, so do we have, I do see some questions and comments and so on and so forth. So let's move forward with those, shall we?
Absolutely. So you have a whole lot of good mornings and hellos and thank yous. Interesting. Julia said, is this live or restream? So I just wanted to say we're using the application Restream to go live. So we are live right now.
We are live. We are definitely live. I'm in New York City. It's whatever it is. It's got to be just past 11:15 or something. And we are live, Julia. Yes. However, it will restream out, and you will be able, even if you missed the live streaming, or if you want to watch it again, you can actually watch it again once we're done. We're live until 12-ish. So from 11 to 12-ish around. The the workshops that we're going to be doing this afternoon, of course, they are also live in what is it called, real time. We're in real time, and so but you can then go to YouTube, or you can go to Facebook, or you can go to wherever you find it, and watch it again afterwards, or send it to your friends, or share the link with your friends so that they can watch it too.
Wonderful. So Amy's on and she says, "Good morning. Feeling overwhelming emotions today. So happy to connect and listening for guidance."
Well, Amy, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you were able to connect. I'm so glad that you were able to do this. So pay attention, because you never know. When we're talking, we're answering people's questions and so on. That question may seem to be for that person, but it's amazing how information resonates with the rest of us. Keep going, Chris.
Kathleen says she wants you to know that you inspire her.
Oh, well, thank you, Kathleen. I have to be honest that when I hear people say that to me, that is an inspiration to me. So you inspire me too, to keep going and to keep doing what I'm doing. So, sometimes, I think we all get down a little bit. Sometimes, when we're working, we're busy, no matter what it is that we're doing, we do wonder, don't we? Are we making a difference, or are we doing something that's worthwhile? Or are we, are we really making ourselves heard or understood in whatever field that we're in? And so it's always good to have confirmation. Thank you very much for that. That is inspiring to me. There.
Monique says, "I wanted to let you know that my son Emmanuel, who has Sotos syndrome and autism, is doing well. I protect him well. Maybe you have a message for me for the new year. Thank you."
What we'd like to do, if we may, is to put him on our healing list and send him healing every day. And how wonderful you are as a mother. You're obviously very concerned about this boy. You obviously love him very much. I think if I say to you that you were given this wonderful gift, I think you'll know and understand what it is that I mean. So many of us as mothers, we dread anything awful happening to our children. We dread having a child who is perhaps imperfect. What we forget is that we are all of us imperfect, but I think that there are certain beautiful children who perhaps seem to be more imperfect, and you remember I'm saying seem to be more imperfect than others, who are just even more perfect and more pure and more beautiful. And your son is just one of these. And what a blessing for you, and what a wonderful job that you're doing. What a blessing for you that you have this boy in your life to show you, to teach you. I mean, don't they teach us such love? Don't they teach us? Don't they inspire us? Talking about inspiration, don't they inspire us to do better for ourselves and for them? Yes, Chris.
Julia says, "Chocolate digestives used to be my favorite, but since you spoke about hobnobs about a month ago, I tried them and liked them very much better. I just might try your recipe. Thank you."
Oh, no, great. Well, actually, when I make hobnobs, I don't put chocolate on them because I like them just as they are. But I was thinking, when I make them, I've got all the things. I'm just waiting for this little tool to come from Amazon, which should be here hopefully today. And when I make them, probably this weekend, I might put chocolate on a few of them, because they might then be a little bit more palatable to my grandson, because anything with chocolate on it is going to try it. And they are not only really, really good to eat, they are really healthy. And if you want my recipe, my darling, all you've got to do, just email us. Chris, is it Chris at rosemaryaltea.com now?
Yes.
She'll send you the recipe. It's so simple. It's so easy. Oh my gosh. Just make sure that you grind the oats fairly finely, for my recipe anyway. All right. Chris, go for it.
Dean would like to know, does Great Eagle hear people talk to him other than you, or does he mostly connect with you? If he does listen to others sometimes, How does he decide which people to listen to?
Um, oh, it's Dean. Yes, of course. He definitely listens to my students. He listens. He pops in on class all the time. Uh, um, you know, as I run my classes, I'm very clear about this with my students, and I tell them all the time. Remember that you are under the umbrella of Grey Eagle because, as you are my student, as we're working together and so on, he is the one who guides and protects and ensures that, I know if you're doing okay, or he ensures that he sort of checks in on you to make sure that well, not to check up on you, to check in on you, to make sure that you are doing okay, and that that, and when you write me or you tell me things, or we do our weekly lessons uh, uh, on our Zoom. If you ask me a question, if you say something to me, you know that I'm often repeating not just what I feel, but what Grey Eagle feels as well. So, but it's a much bigger picture than you're actually painting. How do those in the spirit world decide who to listen to, who not to listen to? Of course, your loved ones in the spirit world will listen to you, often regardless of whether you're saying anything worth listening to. They just want to be around you and they just want to participate with you. But of course, then there are those uh, our angels who are sent by God because uh, what is it this show is called, Chris?
The
The
spirit
spirit world
world sees
sees.
all.
Yes, the spirit world sees all, hears all. They have eyes and ears anywhere that is needed and everywhere that is needed. So uh, I don't know if I've answered that question, Dean, but there you go. That's all you're getting from me. Yes.
Mary says, I've been trying to apply what Grey Eagle says about gentleness.
Oh,
Does Grey Eagle have any advice about my family?
oh well. Oh, yeah, Mary. Well, you're talking about family. This gets tricky, doesn't it? Isn't it funny? Don't you think it's strange that we are so much more able to be kind to those who are not our family? We are so much more able to be gentle with those who are not our family. We are so much more able to be understanding with those who are not our family. But when family gets involved, oh golly, the emotions run high, the old hurts, the jealousies, the intricacies amongst families that sometimes make it very, very difficult for us to apply the rule of gentleness and the rule of kindness. It's so much easier to reach out to a stranger. Uh, I think because we're not afraid with a stranger. If a stranger it sort of turns away from us, if a stranger doesn't accept us, it's just, well, they're a stranger, so it's not so personal, is it? It's not so hurtful. But with our family, that's a whole other thing. Families are difficult. Mary, I really do applaud that you are trying for gentleness. Don't beat yourself up when you can't manage it, because we are human. You are human. We all have a long way to go. But the fact that you are striving for it, the fact that you are trying, uh, is success in itself, and you can't necessarily. You're not perfect. You're human, and you've got all of those old hurts and stuff going on in your life too. Uh, but the fact that you try, the fact that you sort of, you're paying attention to trying is fantastic. With family, okay, if you can try to step back emotionally, to take a step back. And, for instance, if you're looking at your mother or your brother or your sister, don't look at them as your mother, your brother, or your sister. Look at them as just simply another human being with faults and failings. And they are not perfect, just like you are not perfect. I am not perfect. if you can step back and take that personal stuff out of it for a few minutes, I think you might find it easier to be gentle, because being gentle to a stranger is often much easier than being gentle to your family. Although, of course, if they are close family, for instance, gentleness, I can be gentle with my grandson all day long, uh, even when he drives me up the wall, because he doesn't stop talking. And it's funny and irritating and charming and fantastic, all rolled into one, because you're just about to do something, you're just about to take a breath, and off he goes again. And he's such a chatterbox, he's such a little chatterbox, he just keeps going and going and going, which I love, but can be frustrating. But it's easy to be gentle with those who you truly love and embrace. It's easy for me to be gentle with my daughter. It's easy for me to be gentle with my friends. Certainly not nearly so easy for me to be gentle with my mother, my father. I can be gentle with my father because I understand and accept my father. So it's easy for me to be gentle with him. But family's tough. Just keep striving for it, but try if you can to step back, and rather than seeing them as mother, brother, sister, whatever it is that's going on there, step back and view them as simply another human being with faults, with failings, with fears of their own. Yes, Chris.
Julia said, I also want to thank you so much for being you. 18 years ago, I came across your Eagle in the Rose, and that deeply helped me through the passing of my mother.
Julia, I love you. Don't know where you sprang from, I don't know where you've been, but I'm so glad you're here. And thank you for that. And thank you. Yes. I always say to my students, and this is what I think we have to strive for. I think that life becomes much easier for us if we learn to like ourselves. And it's hard because the idea of liking ourselves, we often look at ourselves and see all our faults and failings glaring back at us. But I strive to help my students to embrace themselves and to like themselves. And so this is what I'm wanting to say to you now. When you can embrace yourself and you can say, and this is what I say. And some people think, gosh, she's a bit of a big head for thinking that. Right. Well, maybe that's what I am. But what I really am is a realist, and I look at myself and I accept a trillion of my faults. But I look at myself and I say, and this is what I think we should all strive for, I say, you know what? I may not be the best person in the world, but if I didn't know me and I met me for the first time, I think I'd quite like me. Shall I say that to you again? Because it's a bit difficult, isn't it? A bit tricky. I may not be the best person in the world, but if I didn't know me and I met me for the first time, I might quite like me. And I think if you can say that about yourself and accept that, you're a good person, and basically people do like you, uh, and strive to get rid of all of those horrible little foibles that you don't like. I think if you can strive to say, I may not be the best person in the world, but I am pretty nice, really, in so many ways. I think if you can do that, then you're on the road to recovering from all of the stuff that has happened to you in the past that has left you feeling, perhaps uh, less than you should feel. Chris, we're getting
Wen-
very deep into things today.
Wendy is on. She says,
Hi,
hi
darling.
and, hi and Happy New Year from Ottawa. I'm really enjoying reading soul signs for the first time.
Oh,
Love it very much. Thank you for all you do.
Oh, darling, bless you. You know that we are doing a webinar on soul signs in February. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. I'm going to have so much fun doing soul signs for all of you. We've got a 5-day webinar, and I'm going to be helping you to discover which soul sign you are. I'm going to be helping you to discover the soul signs that are around you. I'm going to be helping you to discover why you get on with one person more than you get on with another. I'm going to be helping you to discover the problems and issues that you have at work, personality wise, with other people, or why you get on with this person but you can't stand your boss. What is it about your boss that makes you get your back up every time? Or why is it that your mother loves your brother more than she loves you? And on it goes in relationships. And Soul Signs is that perfect book to read. Don't forget, please remember the golden key. Find your soul group first. Yes, we're going to be learning all about this in February. Find your soul group first and then find your own soul sign after that. It's much easier, and it's really the only way to do it. Otherwise, you'll get confused. But the reason we chose February for this is because, look, let's face it, February's Valentine's, isn't it? It's Valentine's all month long, as far as I'm concerned. For those of you who are in a relationship and struggling with that relationship, I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you, or help you to discover at least anyway, why you're having these problems. I'm going to explain the different energies that are with different people, different soul signs. It's not astrology. Please don't misunderstand me. And just imagine, for those of you who have had a relationship or several relationships which didn't work out, what are you looking for now? What are you supposed to be looking for? How can you ensure that the next one is going to be the right one? And that's what Soul Science is all about. It's all about relationships, not just with your husband, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, but relationships with your children, and relationships with your family, relationships with your bosses at work or your colleagues at work. It's in every single relationship you could possibly think of. And we, in February, Chris, are you looking forward to this? We're going to have so much fun, aren't we?
Well, because I was around when you were working on this book, and to just see how much it's expanded and how much more I understand it now, there's still so much to learn.
Oh, I know. I know.
We
Every
should
time you
also
pick that.
mention we should
Sorry, go
also
ahead.
mention, Rosemary, I think some people have the first version of Soul Signs, but you have updated it and it can be found on Lulu, LULU.com, if they want to get it with the added workbook type of information, right?
Yes, I didn't update it too much, although I have added to it a little bit. But the newer version actually has the pages between throughout. It has empty pages, so you can make notes. You can you can, because every time you read through that book, you read a page or two and then you have to go back and read it again, and then you think, you have those aha moments as you're reading the book. Oh, that's why he does this. Oh, and that's why she does so and so. So I thought that having sort of like a workbook enclosed, so when you read the book, you take a pencil with you and you read the book and make your notes, and so it will help you to understand much more. But yes, but either way, whichever version of the book you read, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I know I'm the writer. Somebody said to me the other day or the other week, so as I was talking about soul signs, and of course I was expounding and saying how fantastic, but it is a fantastic book. And somebody wrote in, can you give me the name of the author? And it's me. It's me. But really and truly, the author is Grey Eagle, because he was the one who showed me, he was the one who taught me. I'm the one who's been working with it and him, but it is a fascinating view of energy and how different energies connect and how different energies sort of, some pull together and some are like, you mean, for instance, I'm an earth sign. Again, it's not astrology, everybody. I'm an earth sign. I'm a very strong, you might guess this, I'm a very strong and a very forthright earth sign. And the person who is the total opposite to me, who does not work for me at all, who I would run screaming from, is a fire sign. Having said that, one of my very oldest and very closest friends is a fire sign, and we love each other. That doesn't mean, though, that we haven't had our moments when I've actually put her up against a wall and said, don't do that again to me. So sort of, it's a very, very interesting book. Let's move on, Chris.
Sure. Natalie says, hello, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Great
Natalie.
Eagle, a message for me. Maybe an idea how I can make my year better. I struggle for the moment. Thank you. I'm happy to learn from you.
Well, the workshop this afternoon is going to help you with that. If you're able to manage to get onto the workshop, you can still get on. You can still go to, I think, Chris, have you got the link up there? You can still go to Eventbrite, and I'm going to show all of you how you can make the best and the most of this coming year, and how using your energy and how working with energy and how trusting your energy can really, really help you. This is what this workshop's all about. And I think tickets are $25, Chris, I think.
25, yes.
$25.
Which is really
So,
reasonable for what people are going to come away with.
so it's going to be a 2-hour workshop. So race along there and join us. And maybe you will learn something which will be very helpful to you. Chris.
John Luca says, Rosemary, I am desperate. What do you feel for me and my health?
I need to know more. If you'd like to email me, I don't want you to be desperate, darling. Please don't be desperate. Don't be desperate, because whatever is going on there, it's fixable in one way or another. So please email me. Let me know a little bit more about the circumstances, and we'll see if we can help you the best we can. Okay, Chris.
Annie says, good morning, Rosemary.
Who is this?
Annie.
Good morning, Annie.
You are my inspiration as well. I am exhausted with my health issues, financial issues, and issues with my son. Do you have anything for me?
I think, yes, I do. As a matter of fact, Gregor has put his hand on my shoulder. Now then, this is probably not what you expected me to say to you, but I'm going to give you a jolly good talking to. When was the last time you did something just for you, nice just for you, enjoyable just for you? And please do not tell me that you're too tired. You need to take a moment in every day if you can. Or let's say you need to take an hour or two, at least once a week, if not twice a week, to do something which is simply just for you. Go soak in a tub, put some lavender water, sort of sprinkle some lavender in there, lock the door, do not be available, leave the phone outside, nobody can get to you. Those 2 hours are yours to enjoy yourself. Or go out for a walk in the park. Again, don't tell me you can't leave the cell phone, because whoever is around you, there is always somebody else who will step in to help you if you ask. And you can be away from everything for an hour or two. So, stop thinking that you're indispensable, because you're not. I know why you do it, because I think I'm indispensable sometimes, especially when it comes to my daughter and my grandson. Move out of the way. Come on, out, move out. I'm here now. I'll deal with this. We do it because we're protective. We do it because we love them. We do it because we want to be that person who is there for them. We want to be the person who they rely on. However, it is exhausting, it is draining, and you must, and this goes not just for you, my darling, but for all of us out there. You must spend those times, those moments, just for yourself, to be selfish and to relax and to just give into your own needs. You need to build your energy, otherwise you'll be no use to anybody. You'll collapse, you'll be exhausted, you'll be emotionally sort of heading towards a breakdown, and who wants that? And you come on, it doesn't have to be that way. Just you've got to learn to be a little bit selfish with yourself and to understand that no matter what happens when you are indulging in your own stuff, no matter what happens, you have to see to you first. And I teach my healers the same thing, right, Chris? If
Yes.
you if you as a healer do not care for yourself, give energy to yourself, protect yourself first, you'll be absolutely no use to any other person. You'll be no use to anybody because you'll exhaust yourself, and you'll certainly as a student be no use to me. So I advocate some little selfishness, not at the expense of everybody else, but please, darling, learn to be a bit selfish with yourself. Didn't expect that from me, did you? Chris,
Irene says, good morning to you.
good
Here
morning,
in
Irene.
Sweden, it's a dark, rainy, early evening. So
Oh,
nice to see you here.
well, I hope we're bringing a little bit of sunshine into your life then, Irene, because that's just exactly what we want to do. You know, I I I I was having this conversation with my grandson the other day. You know, it's dark, it's cold. He was talking about a dream that he had, that where there were dark clouds and it was a bit grey, and he was drawing me a picture that it was either yesterday or the day before, with a puppy and clouds, and some of the clouds had glum faces and some of the clouds had happy faces. And I said to him, even though it's dark and even though it's cloudy, if you look closely behind the clouds, you'll always find the sunshine. You can always find the light to brighten your own self, your own circumstances. You can always find that light, and usually that light is right smack within you. All you have to do is to sort of, a bit like the genie in the lamp, isn't it? You have to polish it up. You have to be aware that it's there and polish it up, and it will bring a smile to your face on the most gloomy of days. Chris.
Betta says, hi, I'm a person who, in all circumstances, manages to console those who need a good word. Is it due to the presence of an angel next to me? I don't notice it, but it is immediate to give a smile to someone who needs it.
I think you just have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy, Betta. I think you're just wonderful. I think you have that incredible energy that is within you that shines out. I think you also have a need to be needed on some level, and as do I, as do so many of us. And your light shines within you. You have a beautiful soul. Whether or not your angels are there, that doesn't really matter. Your soul is the most beautiful thing, and it just can't help itself, can it? It just pops out. Even if you're having a bad day, you see somebody who needs a smile and you'll smile, and you should embrace that and embrace the beauty of that. Your light shines from within. Chris.
Megan and Jose, I'm not sure which one is asking, but hello,
Hi.
Rosemary, my dear. So many are with heavy hearts more than ever. Does Great Eagle maybe have a message for all of us in the United States that have great concerns for our country? Will 2021 be a better year than what we are seeing?
Well, I wrote an article a week or two ago. What was the article called, Chris? I can't remember.
This is on medium.com. I'm sorry, I don't know the title, Rosemary.
No, I don't know the title either, but I did write about, you know, 2020 as opposed to the upcoming 2021, and how we view life and how we view the stuff that is going on in our lives. And I just did talk about, no matter how dark the sky is, there's always light to be found if you look for it. And I look at 2020, and maybe I look at it in a different way. Maybe I'm not being a realist, but I actually think that I am being very much a realist. Um, you know, in every age, in every era, if you look back at history, there have been those times when there has been devastation, there has been drought, there has been famine, there has been disease, and if you look back in history, what we're going through in what we went through in 2020, and and yes, coming into this new year, is no different in so many ways than what we have already experienced, or what this, what that the human species has experienced over and over again many years ago. And here's the deal: we got through it. In fact, we got through those times so easily, eventually, that we don't even remember half the time the things that worried us, or we remember, but we don't remember with the same anxieties, with the same level of anxieties. What I think we have to do sometimes is we have to easy for me to say, not so easy to do. But I look at 2020 and I see, so many people died. They did. But I don't believe you can die before your time. So whether they died of COVID, or whether they died of cancer, or whether they died of heart disease, or whether they died through an accident, or whatever it was, I believe it was their time. But amazingly, if we look at COVID particularly, the numbers of people who have died appall us initially until we compare it to the population of the world, and then it becomes a much, much smaller number and a much, much smaller percentage. However, for those of us who have experienced and lost people through this particular year, and who have despaired of the political nonsense that is going on, or who have despaired of those people who in high places who should be inspiring us, but who are bitterly backbiting and mean to each other, and what fabulous examples they are turning out to be for our children. Not. But when we look at all of the stuff that is going on, we could become really desperate, worried, fearful, and so on. But when I look, I see it as completely different. I see all this stuff going on. A lot of it disgusts me. A lot of it just astounds me. And I see throughout the year, throughout all of this, there are small kindnesses that we don't even notice. We see people working tirelessly in the background, doing the best that they can for us. We see the majority of us surviving. Yes, it's painful, but then who says life isn't painful? And so I see that we have survived that year, 2020. I don't see it as terrible, because I do believe and have been taught by Grey Eagle that pain is our teacher. Pain is that thing that we need to go through, and if we embrace it, it can teach us so many things, and it helps us to become more sympathetic, it helps us to become more empathetic, it helps us to become kinder, nicer, eventually, gentler people. So I see this as a huge learning curve for this human race, if we were to look at it in that positive light. So you're talking about this, the world of ours that is despairing. Yes, we can get down in the dumps, but I actually see it as so much more than just a depressing and despairing place. I see it with potential. I see it with so many people in it who are loving and kind and embracing their spiritual side. I see it. I see people who are working tirelessly to be kind. Look at that lovely lady, Mary, I think earlier, who said, I'm striving to be kind. I mean, come on. I mean, isn't this the most wonderful opportunity that we have to become more of who we can be? Greater than who we can be, more loving than we have ever thought possible. So please don't despair of the old year. Let's just determine that we're going to learn through the lessons, learn to be kinder, learn to be more positive. Stop with the backbiting, stop with the pointing of the fingers, stop blaming everybody else. Take a look at your own life and be positive in your own life. Chris, I feel as if I was on my soapbox there a bit.
It comes in handy sometimes. Um, Divine Femme Barb, who is on for the first time today, asks, what does my spirit say about me and how I'm doing?
Well, I think it's more important to figure out, what do you say about you? And what do you say about what you're doing? Take a look at you. Have a look at you. Start to delve into who you are. Remember, I just said a few minutes ago, uh, you know, I may not be the best person in the world, but if I didn't know me and I met me for the first time, what would I think about me? Um, Ask yourself that question. What would you think about you? Because when you start to ask those questions, this is when your soul begins to stir. This is where the light begins to glow a little brighter. This is when you start your spiritual journey, looking for things that you can do that are perhaps better. How can I improve on my own self? Don't expect your angels to come and tell you everything. Don't expect your soul to come and say to you, "Oh, you know, yeah, you're good, you're great." No, 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 no. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It matters what you think. So you need to ask yourself this question: if I didn't know me and I met me for the first time, would I like me? I can say absolutely yes to that question. Chris, can you say yes to that question?
I can.
So that's what we need to strive for. Okay, let's moving on, Chris.
All right. Shaz is on.
Morning, Shaz.
Can you give us more insight into the spirit world? I lost my mother suddenly 1.5 years ago.
Well, it's very difficult. I'm hoping that every time I do these shows, that's what I do. I try to give you insights into the spirit world and what it's about. But the reason that we are doing these webinars is because, you know, this is where we can spend much more time, and we can talk much more and much more in depth about you know, these things. And I'm going to suggest that can you possibly go get yourself into YouTube and go to my channel? Yes, I do have my own channel in YouTube. You're going to find all sorts of things. You're going to find all sorts of information that perhaps you didn't know before. Aside from the fact that it's really, really fun going through them and looking through them and going back and listening to what I've been saying in the past and what I'm still saying today. Um, our webinar that we had in December was perhaps for so many people the most mind-blowing, the most incredible. If you had wanted to know more about the spirit world, just experiencing that webinar would have taught you so much and shown you so much. So, you know, just do some little bit of investigating. We do talk about the spirit world, but everyone sees the spirit world differently. They see us, as we know, because that's what this show is all about. The spirit world sees all. But you know, sort of, I'm sure that your mother is in a good place. I am absolutely, yes, Gregel is reminding me to tell you that I'm sure that she's with her angels. I'm sure that she is in a place of light. I'm listening to what I'm being told here. I'm sure that she's in a place of light and a place of beauty. Uh, but what does that mean actually? Does it mean that she's in a garden? Does it mean that she's in green fields? What does it actually mean? And the more and more we do this and the more webinars that we do, the more you'll learn more details about these things. So, you know, just sort of get you know, after this show, why don't you just go to YouTube, look for my channel, and see, you'll be amazed at how many things that we've done in the past. Chris.
Julia says, hearing your voice and your stories calmed me. Yesterday's energy at our nation's capital saddened and shook me to the core. Wendy says, do you want me to go on?
Yeah, what does she mean by that? What does Julie mean by that? Have I missed something here?
You have missed something. We can catch up after the show.
Oh, okay.
Wendy
I've
says,
been a bit occupied over the last few days. But so go ahead, Chris.
this is all so helpful. I'll look for your seminar. I am so blessed to have an amazing soul group. Thanks for sharing this with me. It's my birthday, so this is quite special.
Oh, Wendy, happy, 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 happy birthday. And I'm so glad that we could make your birthday a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter. And I really do hope you're doing something really fun today. Or I'm not sure what part of the world was she in. Do we know? Do we remember? Was she in Nova Scotia or somewhere?
I'm sorry, Rosemary, I don't remember
That's
if we
okay.
were.
We have so many people write in. We'd love to know where all of you are from, if you'd like to sort of just give us a little heads up. But I have a feeling that, Wendy, are you in Canada somewhere? Or so? Anyway, it doesn't really matter where you are, does it? Just do something just for you today, and do have a wonderful and a special and a happy, happy birthday.
So
Yes,
there's
Chris.
just a couple more comments because we're almost at time. Um, Sarah Jane says, "Oh, I got you live at last." And then Sandra says, "Blessings and greetings from the Netherlands." Megan says, "Thank you so much for your words of wisdom and all your love. I agree 100%. Pain has taught me so many ways. Love, kindness, strength, and peace always."
Oh, thank you, thank you to all of you. And I'm so glad that you are inspired by what we do. I'm so glad you're inspired by what we say. And, it's such an inspiration to have you all being inspired. You know that it just eggs me on to do more and more and more. You know, usually people of my age, old, crotchety, I can't say crotchety, whatever that is.
Crotchety.
I'm so old. I can't my mouth won't work properly. I mean, so many people look forward to retiring, and I'm sure that some of you have resolutions. I'm going to retire this year. Not for me by any means. I think I shall still be working when they carry me home. I'll be still talking, still trying to teach people. I'll be still wanting to do more and more and more. And so, thank you. I do appreciate all of you watching and being supportive and being, dare to say, fans. But if you're a fan of mine, I'm a greater fan of yours, because you really do inspire me to keep doing more and more and more and more and more. Hey, Chris.
Um, Karen says, "Good morning, Rosemary. You look beautiful today."
Thank
And
you.
and Shaz says, "From the bottom of my heart, thank you." And that's
Oh,
it.
darlings. Aren't you so lovely and so wonderful? Do we have any more questions or comments, Chris? Because I know we're about at time.
No, that's it, Rosemary. We need to keep your iPad charged for this afternoon.
Oh gosh, don't we ever? We need to just, for those of you who are joining me at 2 a.m., I'm so excited, and I have something to show you that Reese did. I've got something to show you that I did, and I've got something to show you that you can all do to make your next year, this coming year, the best it can possibly be. So, for those of you who are, if you want to join up, if you want to find out, Chris has the link, or go to Eventbrite, or better still, go to my website, rosemaryaltea.com, and you'll see my website. You'll see a place to click for the event or for future events if you'd like to. But we're going to have a lot of fun for the rest of the day. Gosh, I'm going to be working so late tonight. But after all, isn't that what keeps us young? Isn't that what keeps us active? Isn't that what keeps the joy in our hearts? So for those of you who are joining me this afternoon, I'll see you then. For the rest of you, please, 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 thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Chris, for all you do. Thank you to Grey Eagle also for being with us today. And please, all of you, have a very, very blessed rest of the day. Bye-bye.